Did you know Jesus defines Holy Spirit? In Mark chapter 13, verse 11, the yellow highlighted text that you see, Jesus teaches sometimes the words people say are not their own words. The words are from or by Holy Spirit. And in Matthew chapter 10, verse 20, Jesus teaches, Holy Spirit is our Father's word speaking from your mouth. Now I did some editing in the blue and green highlighting, and the word in, and I had to add the word through, because we have 4 examples of our Father's words. The first example, Luke chapter 1, verse 67, tells us when Zacharias declared John's the Baptist's life, these words had to be said by our Creator, for he prophesied John's life. The second example we have is Luke chapter 1, verse 41, when out of Elizabeth's mouth she declared Mary's son is blessed. These 2 verses prove their words were our Creator's words coming from their mouths. The third and fourth example are in Luke chapter 12, verse 12, and Matthew chapter 12, verse 28, where Jesus teaches our Creator's words will be said in their mind, and then they are to say his words. Other examples of our Creator's words coming to their mind are in the Hebrew text, where the prophets are being told to go out, and then our Creator will tell them what to say. Thus, Jesus teaches us there is no Trinity. All right, this is what I got in chapter 31, so I'm going to try to show you the format. You can see that I've got a single one out here, but usually, let me zoom in here on the top 2. And this is a 3-verse format, and by what I mean by that is there's 3, whoops, that wasn't good. So I don't know what that took me all the way up to the top for. But what happens here is that these 3 verses, this first one is a statement. This one and this one connect together like a comma period to define what the statement is about. This makes a small paragraph, and then it repeats, and it has the same like text to where these 2 become a larger paragraph. Okay, now that's what I'm trying to do in this format, and you can learn this from Psalms 1 through 8 if you try them yourselves. Just make them the shortest sentence as possible. And what you'll find is you have 2 major words, and you, whoops, not that one, 2 major words, and then to connect them with the least amount of smallest words as possible. So that's what I'm doing. What happened here is there was nothing in 32, 33, or 34. So I believe this is 30. Oh, this is 34. So get that ready. Oops. Little cheat sheet here for me. Now I'll save that text. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to edit the text. And then what I'm going to do is clean it up at the end. And what I'm doing here is putting all the hidden formats in the correct order from Genesis, all the Hebrew text that actually has a format and is actually truthful, in order to make a really true book of the first writer's words. Now, as you can see in the description for YouTube, I've got some of that already started. I've got Psalms separate, but I've got all the PDFs there to show you like what I'm editing. The second time I edit it, maybe even a rearranging of the order of the story, and I have videos that you can find on YouTube as well that go with those videos. And I'm pretty much recording this for history before I get into our Creator's hidden formats. So draw near, nations to hear, and listen, peoples. Let the earth and all it contains hear. That's pretty much says right here. And the world and all that springs from it. Now see, this you can see as a format. This is like draw near, comma, and this is a period or comma, and this will be a period. Now it needs more cleaning, but the thing here is you can see that when they added this text, they tried to make it like a format, okay? So this, I can tell you, is just going to be thrown out because we pretty much have what's important here. Draw near, it has to be to me because he's going to say listen and hear. So I need to add these two words. Nations, now there's only two nations, and that is the nation of Israel and the nation of Judah, and these are those two nations, okay? Now the thing here is it has to be our nations are to listen or to hear. Our nations are to hear. To listen to his people, not peoples. And why I'm doing this is because I'm editing it as if the first writer was writing it and saying, and he would know that these are Jesus's people, that we've been given to Jesus. He's going to be redeeming us to enter into heaven, to become among his servants. So draw near to me, our nations are to listen, and listen. You are to listen to his people. You are to listen to his people. Because his people are most obedient to our Creator. And what happened here is with this map, here, Israel has been corrupt pretty much from day one when our Creator divided the tribes up, 10 here, 2 here. And the first king started making an altar to a false god, for false gods. So, but let me show you here. Let me get this one here and set that up, because I have a king's timeline as well, and the king's timeline lets you see pretty much where this text is coming from, supposedly, is from Jotham's time and Hezekiah's time. Now this, I've shortened the name up, so it's got the IAH if you're looking up. But the thing here is a prophet usually lives 65 years, and then you see how long these kings are going to rule. And usually they don't rule until they're starting about 13 to 15 years old. Sometimes they're 30 years old. But the thing here is these are the kings for Judah. These are the kings for Israel. And you can see what I'm not putting in capital letters. That means they were against our Creator and didn't listen to him. At this time, this is the king that's going to lose all these tribes. And then later, these tribes are going to be lost. So now you have an idea of where Isaiah lives in the timeline. And so when it says nations, that would mean that they're both times. So it's going to be really early in time here, or in here someplace, because he's going to rule 28 years. So I got him living right up to about here. Okay, and these aren't related to time, exactly time. It's in relationship to each other, these kings at these times when they started to appear. So, yeah, so we've got text that's going to be in here. All right. With all that said, now you know what it means when it says, draw near to me, our nations are to hear. You are to listen to his people. Okay. But Judah's a good king at that time, but they're having corruption. This is apostrophe for YHVH'S indignation is against. It's not his indignation. Let's see if there's another word. I have this Bible program, no longer in existence. So I click on a word, it shows me the Hebrew or Greek text, and then down here it tells me how many times they use these words for this word, and gets pretty dangerous because I can show you that if I showed you the words for boy, it is listed as once for girls. Desert turns into a man's name 4 times. So anyways, Wivey is angry. I think I like the word angry. Not very. Wivey. Now you notice this isn't starting out as a prophecy. Okay. So, but I honor and respect our Creator with all capital letters, by the way. Is, I will say, angry. Whoops. At that. This, this color. And that's what means I'm changing one color to another. I'm changing it because I'm not adding it completely as my word. I try to find within the shadow the intent that this word is just replacing a word, because otherwise I have too much gray text showing up as saying these are my words. They had a choice. They didn't use it. I'm going to use it. Is against. I can't use both nations. We have this. Our nations are to hear, or to listen. Not sure if I still need the word and up here in this one, but I don't need this word. Wivey is angry against everyone. Nope. He's against them going away from him. And so what I've decided is that the ones that are meditating and having sex with the so-called female goddess, I name them as mankind. Okay, is against mankind. And they're the ones teaching these practices not that are not about our Creator. See, mankind thinks they can become a god and therefore have their own salvation by becoming a god and not a forgiveness through Jesus to enter into heaven. As a This sounds like it's two pieces going together. This right now sounds like a comma, and this sounds like the period. So it's not following the same format right now. I'm going to get rid of this one because if I'm looking for two more that connect together, these two connect together. He has? No, he will. No, it's utterly, and I don't like that word utterly because sometimes it means the speech was uttered. So, but I'm just changing this word to this word. Honor and respecting our Creator. Let me go to the NSAB and see what utterly. Okay, see how it's got two words? So down here it's utterly destroyed what they did, or utterly destroying. Set apart. He will set them apart, comma, and get rid of that. Say I'm adding this, changing this to other words that they could have used, but didn't. You will set them apart and give them over to be slaughtered. Give them over. What does that mean? Give them over. Okay, they got to have something that I'm missing here. Appointed them for death. See, over isn't even a word that Strong thought was meaningful enough to put into the text. So here, if I go over here and get rid of that word and use the word appointed, therefore I'm just changing, and has appointed them to be killed, I think. Let me go back here to slaughter. Oh, slaughter to food. Okay, that's why they don't show you guys this text anymore, or this program does not exist. So, oh man, I forgot to hold on. I forgot to get the chats out. Well, nobody's chatted here on Twitch, and usually I do have a few people stop by, and Twitch does like to chat. YouTube, very, very rare. They don't get what's going on here by streaming live. So, but they can always comment later when you're watching this one. I mean, that intro should have surprised you. So, because I'm pretty sure I'm the first one to teach those words. Now, give over to slaughter. They use slaughter 10 times. But we gotta say, appointed them to die, plain and simple. And that's pretty much meaning they're going to be dead. So now this again does not seem like it's his words. Okay. Well, there's no mountains in Israel, but you can see they're trying to make a format as a grouping of words. So sometimes, like I said, when you take a serious look at how they took it from the hides or scrolls, that if you try to change a word, that it would show up that they're changing it. So they put it into what's known as manuscripts or paper. And what they've done is they took the words in the groups that you're seeing that I'm finding and just changed those words all around and put them together with another part. And I'm thinking that's because they were teaching these in their synagogues or gathering places about our Creator, and what they needed to have some of these like stories that they had generations grew up on. They distorted and put them into another book, so when they're reading them, they kind of like, okay, yeah. And then when they're talking about the other words, they say, well, we found that in another scroll of the same scroll from Isaiah, and this one's Isaiah, and we had 20 Isaiahs, and we put them all together. So this is how they would do this. And then they flat out wrote their own format. But you can see that he knew that they were formats, or a 3-verse format, just used more words than I would use, or they used. All the host of heaven. The word host, what does that mean? Back then, mankind thought they could enter into heaven on their own and become a host in heaven, meaning a star in heaven. That's why the names of some of the planets are named after gods. Okay? They were known as the roaming gods. So all the hosts in heaven, not of heaven, will wear away, and the sky will be rolled up like a scroll. All their hosts will also wither away, as a leaf withers from the vine, as one withers from. Okay, now see. Again, somebody knew they had poetry format, so they wanted to make it read like this. But this is all not true. My sword is saturated in heaven. Behold, it will descend for judgment. That's not true. Oops, how'd that happen? Upon Edom and upon the people whom I have devoted for destruction. Edom is land that Jacob's brother Esau, twin brother, when he took his servants and flocks. He went to establish his own place for his people to live. And created created a kingdom, because it's just one. So let me see if I can say where's this at. I guess if I do this, no. Spies, yeah. Here's Edom over here. This is a mount here in this area, and this is a mount and this is a mount, which overlooks. You can look down on the hilltops here. That's why there's no mountains here. So this is the location they're talking about, or the people that live there. Descend for judgment upon Edom and upon the people whom I have devoted for destruction. Okay. The sword of YHVH is filled with blood and statted with fat, and the blood of the lambs and goats, and the fat of the kidneys. This is just, and it'll be a great slaughter in the land of Edom. No, you can tell all of a sudden that the next group that they passed this on to was just trying to tell a story in their own way, and all these words have double meaning. So when you read them and you're thinking that this is, a lamb is a lamb and a goat is a goat, no, that isn't how they write. For example, if I use the word incorrect, they're talking about the meditation inside their body is correct. Inside is correct. Incorrect is the way they read it, but you read it as it's wrong. So, but that's the trickery that's been going on. Wild oxen will also fall in young ones too. Okay, nope. Thus their land will be soaked with blood. They're just, no. For the cause of Jerusalem. I think I could. YHVH will have a day of vengeance and recompense for their causes in Jerusalem. His strength will be turned to pitch and loose earth into brimstone. Okay. Oversalted. Gee whiz, why did I go down a little bit farther quicker? Not be quenched day or night. Okay, here's them not understanding day and night. Our creators made the day as from when the sun is no longer seen in the west, that twilight, that's the beginning of the day, and goes to the night, and then it's daylight. So it'd be night and daylight. But they don't know that. The smoke will go up forever. Okay, we know that's not true. We don't care if the animals are going to be there on their land. Thorns will come up. Fortified towers, just fortified cities. No, they don't have nobles. That's pagan practice. There. None of this. Yes, the night monster. I wonder what the night monster is. For kicks, let's take a look at it. 14. Night monster. A female night demon. Okay. So much for that. Although then it does say find her resting place. So yeah, they're sticking true to what they put in the concordance. We don't care about some tree snakes. Don't care about the hawks. Seek from the book of YHVH and read. Not one of these will be missing. None will lack a mate. Verse all is commanded and his spirit has gathered. Well, this we know is wrong. He has a lot. He has cast a lot for them. Now this means like rolling of dice. Okay, this is what cast a lot means. Our creator said you don't do that. They have these two things that they got, like tops that they spin. And he says you're not supposed to do that. That's against our teaching of our creator. So, and I think Jews give that as a gift back and forth as those things, and yet they're against our creator when he taught not to do foretelling or that. Just live a good life and remember I'm here and obey me. Okay, now this, no, that's not going to happen. This, I gotta say, is out. So what I had up here is two pieces. Well, they might get thrown out later, but I try to save everything that I believe could possibly go with other text to say that it might be true when I put it in, line up 3 verses with 3 verses, 4 verses with 4 verses, and find out that it might just fit. And surprisingly, some of them do. Other than that, I'll throw it out again anyway. But that, it means that there is no part 2. So, although yes, it does, because one's a 3 verse, one's a 4 verse. So that means I'm going to put them together. This is how I got to note where they come from. Okay. So there, not much of the truthfulness, but it's there. So found it. Now let's get back to the text and see, maybe 35 has something for us. The wilderness by the desert. Now, if you don't know what the wilderness actually looks like, it's where you might have a tree and it's got bare branches from the sand blowing against it, maybe a few green leaves on it, and maybe just a little bit of green around the roots of that tree, and then sand. And then this is what's known, how they use the word wilderness. Okay, so the wilderness by the desert. Oh, it's going to be glad. For the Arabs, this is kind of like let's see, establishing a name for like the kingdom of a certain area. So let me see here. no, here, Arabia, here. But it's actually just because this is the desert. Nobody lives in the desert. It's this borderline down through here. And I don't know how big it really is and where it starts, but we can say that it's all the way up to Edom. Okay. So, okay. Arabia won't join. What is this? I don't understand why they've got land, wilderness, all being happy and gay and will rejoice. I mean, we got a lot of text that just has nothing to do with telling the story, talking about our Creator, talking about a battle, talking about a time and place. It will blossom, big deal, profusely, and rejoice. And then the glory of Lebanon. This is a mountain that has truly a white cap on it. It's really like, I think it's like, I don't want to say it, but I think it's over 10,000 feet high. So this text, oh, it's another bad start. Encourage the exhausted and strengthen the feeble, but we don't have nothing to go with it. Say these, take courage, fear not. It just sounded like it was changing here. Behold, your God will come with vengeance. The words of God will come, but he will save you. Nope. The eyes of the blind will be opened, the ear of the deaf will be unstopped. Plugged. Then the lame will leap like a deer, will shout for joy. The waters will break forth from the wilderness. Well, we know this is wrong. That's a format, but I don't see that. So I'm going to make that 9 point. The scorched land will become a pool, a thirsty ground, spring of water. So the desert is going to be happy with all the water. And then they're going to, jackals are going to find its resting place. But there's going to be reed and rushes because there's going to be so much water. Okay. And the highway will be there, a roadway, and it will be called the highway of holiness. The unclean will not travel it. Well, we know that's not true. So pretty much all of that's not true. But it will be for him who walks the way of the lion will be there, nor any. Nope, I don't see any of this either. Wow, that was quick. I'm seeing chapter 36, and this hasn't been, boy, with the intro, my speech at the beginning, so maybe 30 minutes here, and got rid of 2 chapters. And the ransom of YV will turn and come with joyful. The ransomed from a YV will return. I don't like the way that's done. It's I divided it, but actually you can see that the text is actually like this. This should be down over here. I don't know why it's not. Oh, it's the next verse down. That's Okay. The ransom from YV. No, that our Creator's going to make himself known in uh, Babylon, and King Nebuchadnezzar is going to wake up eating grass, and three guys are going to be dumped into a fire that's made extra high, and they come out without smell of even smoke on them. So yeah, our Creator made himself known up there in Babylon, and then the second king of Babylon told him, go back and build a house for our Creator, and we allow this because of what he's done here in Babylon. In Egypt, we learned from Ezra's text that he had to make an appearance to the king of Egypt, and the advisors were wondering what's going on with him coming back, and he most likely got word of what's going on, that the captives are returning from everywhere north, and then he tells them the story. So that would be what we're talking about. He did not ransom though. So, but I guess I'll start with, now this one looks like, okay, now this, there we go. Now here, yes, 36 is going to be great, because 36 is going to start talking about the king of Assyria sending this guy up against Judah. But see, this is how a story begins, and you can see here more of the story, and here's even more of the story. The recorder and a scribe are going to go out and visit him. So look at now that's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good long one. That's going to be the story that I've mentioned a couple times before in the text. But right now, I'll call this end to the video for the day. And